Sports app. Time to separate what's real from what's no big deal. Something or nothing. Bears decide to run the ball. That's a good idea, huh, Coach?
DeAndre Swift.
Caleb for 157 and a touchdown to bring Chicago 2-2. First time with a completion percentage above 70.
Yeah,
Nice.
Getting better.
every week. And it doesn't show passer rating, which, well, go ahead, I'll wait.
No interceptions is pretty good. Something or nothing.
Oh, it's something. It's steady improvement. Listen, and the passer rating was miserable in week 1 and miserable in week 2, and then mediocre-ish in week 3. Week 3 was weird because 350 yards and a couple touchdowns sounds good, but 2 picks and a strip sack is awful. Yesterday, he played really well. Now, listen, the Rams defense had real question marks coming into the year and is injured. So I will add that caveat. From the smart people stats, they're not that far from Washington as far as like ineptness defensively right now thus far through this year. Shockingly, you lose a first ballot Hall of Famer, whether it's Philly's offensive line, the Rams defensive line, the whole thing takes a step back. But the Bears, if you had them in the playoffs, as I did, I had them further than that, but at a minimum, the playoffs, like a lot of people did. Through 4 weeks, you thought they'd be 2-2. Now, you thought they would have beaten, who'd they lose? The Colts, and lost to the Rams, but whatever. You thought they'd lose to the Texans, lose to the Rams, beat the Titans, and beat the Colts. And what you're hoping for is steady progression from Caleb. And that's what you're getting. And so it's absolutely something that he doesn't look lost or in over his skis. And it's not coincidental, Coach, that the first game he didn't have someone averaging 1 yard per carry. He looked better.
I love Nick talking about giving someone time.
That's what I always do.
Develop.
That's what I always
letting
do.
him progress.
I'm sorry I have high standards and I expect excellence, but that's what I do.
You're exactly right.
Thank you.
It's hard for a guy to come in and be successful early on, and there are outliners, and we see it every year. But typically, a rookie quarterback, there is a significant transition time, and it starts with cadence, operation, things like that. We saw improvement there. Then we've seen some improvement in the running game. And now this last game, what was it, 4 different scoring drives and no turnovers? That's real progress for him. And if he can keep on this trajectory, I think we're going to get to the wow plays that you saw in college. You just don't have to get to all those.
Coach likes Caleb.
He has that in him.
Thank you.
He's just got to get the other stuff, straightened out, and it looks like he's on the road to doing that.
Yeah, Nick, you're going to think this is an insult. It's not. Yesterday, he was a nice little game manager. That's what yesterday, that's what he was. Fine. He was on time. He made all the lights.
That's fine.
The spectacular stuff, as Coach said, we think will definitely be there down the road. I will say this, though. It's something, Nick, and he's their weak link right now. That defense is legit.
No, the offensive line is their weak link.
He's their weak link. He's their weak link right now. Now, that doesn't mean he will be going forward.
Is this going to be another one that you deny saying years later?
What'd I say? Trevor was the weak link?
Yeah.
That's looking pretty good.
That's looking pretty good.
No, I don't think he'll be the weak link for his career. He's going to be great for his career right now. Because if he was really good, they would be what you think they are as a Super Bowl contender.
Right, which is why I think he will be really good by the end of the year. But the weakest part of their team right now is their offensive line. It's undeniable. Their offensive line hasn't had a game like this collectively. Like that's and listen, I know people haven't been studying the Bears schedule. Why would they? Next week they're home for Carolina, then a sneaky tough spot in London for when the Jag season actually begins. But those are 2 of, you would say, the worst teams in football.
I would think. I don't think.
And then
Carolina will be
after those 2 games. You know who he plays? The guy we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
They're probably both 4-2.
Right now.
Heading into a matchup against
Well,
Jaden
we got to
Daniels.
keep going.
I think.
All right. Well, then they go in and talk about Jaden Daniels, which I've already addressed. We are here to talk Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. Yeah, it's funny. They said a lot of things that I had already said with the herd. And, everyone's so obsessed with all the video game, magical, cartoonish stuff plays, right? Things that we think of nowadays of just like, Mahomes magic and stuff. And I said that Caleb really needs to lock down the fundamentals, the game management. And when you get that locked, when you get that as your foundation and your home where you can keep return to game after game, play after play, that's when all of the spectacular off-the-script plays come out of. When you rely just on that and you don't have the foundation of the game management, that's when you run into trouble, right? And this, this was the game plan. And that's what I wrote in all my notes. Finally got the run going, 131 yards, right? And I wrote, felt like they finally had a game plan. This wasn't just a Caleb win. This was a Bears win. It was the first game that you watched for the Chicago Bears and felt, I know what they were trying to do. They had an actual game plan. Caleb Williams was just asked, again, to be a game manager, which people think is so bad. That's what Jaden Daniels did for the first 2 games, okay? And then the 3rd game and 4th game, they were like, let's go, let's show out. They established the foundation. They got him comfortable in the offense. They got him being comfortable in the NFL. It matters. College and the NFL are completely different. Completely different. And so seeing this right now makes sense. To me, Caleb Williams' season starts today, of this game. This is what his week 1 start should have looked like, and the game plan should have been like, okay? So to me, it's like, let's give him another 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. I agree with Nick that I think Caleb's going to continue to grow, continue to evolve. And like Mangini pointed out, yeah, we have some outliers where people can really pop immediately. And the crazy thing is this. We think that if you're an outlier, that automatically means that that's what makes you special or that's what makes you elite. And the reality is Patrick Mahomes obviously didn't play his first year. And I promise you, Patrick Mahomes would have probably looked great and also really bad at the same time. That's why he didn't play the first year. If he was ready to go and ready to rip from the jump, Andy Reid would have thrown him out there. Andy Reid would have said, okay, let's go, man. But he didn't. Andy Reid's smarter than that. And so Patrick Mahomes will probably always be the best example until maybe someone else comes along. But it's just the way it goes. And I feel like I have to keep saying that in every single Caleb Williams video because people are so obsessed with trying to dunk on him. People are so obsessed trying to say, I told you he's not good. I told you he's not good. Haha, he's a bust. And just very bizarre, weird comments about him physically and his mentality and his personality. And the truth is like, there's a lot of people that want to see this guy fail, like really badly, just because they don't like him as a person. And he's not unlikable. He's really not. I mean, yeah, has he got caught with a couple weird moments like, texting the punter and stuff like that? Sure. And it's not the best look when you do that and you're a rookie. And then, of course, you have the start. So I get it why people want to dunk on him. But he's not a bad person. He's not combative. He doesn't fight with the media. Doesn't talk trash on, social media. He's seemingly a good person, right? Who cares a lot. He's maybe a little bit overconfident, but quite frankly, majority of these players are. So I think this has been a humbling experience for him because I can promise you that him being 2-2 and the way how his season has unfolded is not at all how he imagined it being. Because I'm sure in his mind, he truly imagined that he was going to step on this field from day one and essentially be Mahomes. I really do believe that. I'm sure he probably left a little room for him to be like, yeah, I'm a rookie, I'm young. But I'm pretty sure he was like, yeah. That's why he texted his punter, just, you're not going to be punting that much, bro. I've arrived. And I get it. On one side, it's what helped him get where he is. On the other side, it holds him back a little bit. And I think he's probably in the process of shedding that a little bit, which is good. It's going to help him grow. It's going to help him evolve. It's why he's getting better week to week. Because if you think you're the best and you think you're great, if you think you're top, if you think they have nothing to learn, you're not going to get better week to week. So he obviously is. And he is improving. And I don't even think it's that big of a deal to even point out, like Nick's like, oh, we got to point out that it's bad defense and stuff like that. I don't even know how relevant that is anymore at this point when you're talking about a rookie quarterback, right? Bad O-line, questionable coaching. I mean, I think it's relevant when you're talking about established quarterbacks, right? Established teams for sure. But I'm just not so sure that's really completely relevant because it's still an NFL team. It's still the Rams, right? So maybe if it was a team that was like just full-on practice squad, because first string, second string, third, right? Like everyone is just completely, it was just an insane, right? They all just got sick. Then I could say, okay, he wasn't actually really playing NFL starters or just NFL players to begin with. Then you could make the argument, but I don't think we always have to justify that. And again, I love looking at who you're playing and evaluating based on that. But in this situation, I don't think it matters tremendously personally. I think this is a very good, solid game. 17 for 23, 157 yards, touchdowns. No flash, no pizzazz, no nothing. He's looking more comfortable. He moved in the pocket well. I feel like he feels the pressure better. He's more willing to stay in the pocket and not have happy feet, which I really like. Again, the Bears have to ask themselves, do they want this to be the Caleb Williams show, or do they want to win games? Because this is a defensive-led team. And when you're a defensive-led team, even if you're not a defensive-led team, but especially if you're a defensive-led team, the name of the game is to run the ball, minimize mistakes, and turnovers, right? And you want to have some passing game, but it's in the realm of 20 to 25 passing, pass attempts, high percentage, throws, moving the chains little by little, dominating the time of possession, again, minimizing the risk of turnovers. You're using the pass in a lot of ways to set up the run, where in other ways you use the run to set up the pass. That's the way how the Bears need to look at this right now. You're going to use the gentle pass to set up the run. And when you have the run going, again, it's synergistic. It's not one or the other, of course, but then when you have the run game going, that opens up the field. Then you can be strategic. You can take some shots doesn't have to even be a 45-yard. That's the one thing that always drives me crazy. They'll get a little bit momentum going, and then they really try to stretch the field, and it's like, why, man? Now it's 2nd and 10. Now it's 3rd and 9. It's unnecessary, right? Just keep the momentum going forward. It doesn't have to be just a boulder, going down a big, massive hill. Just keep it moving forward. That's how you win these games. That's how you go 17 for 23 for 157 yards, a touchdown, and a win 24-18. That's the way you do it. That's the name of this game. But yeah, I mean, again, of course, it is worth mentioning the Rams offense have nothing going on right now, right? That is worth mentioning. And so if the Rams were able to put up more points, what would have the Bears asked Caleb to do? It's an interesting question, but unnecessary at this moment in time to answer, because we're going to get it answered in the weeks to come, right? So I think they got some interesting games ahead of them. The Jaguars in London, I don't know what that means, quite frankly. I really don't. And the Panthers will be an interesting game because they're clearly a significantly better team with Andy Dalton, right? They absolutely are. So they used to be bottom of the barrel, guaranteed win. Not so much now. I'm not saying that the Bears shouldn't be able to beat them. It's just definitely a different feel with Andy Dalton. They have some genuine life to them. Andy Dalton can still play. He knows how to play football. He's been around the block once or twice. And then again, the Jags, London, it's like, I don't really know what to make of that. So yeah, I'm really excited to have them face each other. Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels, Washington Commanders versus the Bears. The truth is the Bears should have a big leg up on the Commanders because they have a significantly better defense. Jaden has been rolling, but with that defense for the Bears, who knows? And if they make Jaden uncomfortable and that weak defense for the Commanders, what can Caleb and that offense do? So it's actually kind of like a Lego piece fitting together to see like how's this going to work? Can Jaden excel in this situation or not? And if not, can Caleb excel in a weaker defense? So it's going to be a great matchup. Hopefully they turn it into, I think Nick kind of talked about it being like a flex game, turn it into like a primetime game. Who knows if they actually will. I can't believe it wasn't already built as that before. How would you not do that? You have the first and second quarterback going toe-to-toe against each other. That's an exciting game. How is that not, a main game? Doesn't make any sense to me. But hopefully we can get some, just some good entertainment out of that. But yeah, things are looking definitely brighter for the Bears. Definitely, certainly brighter than they were before. Where this all goes, I do not know. I'm sorry. I still disagree with Nick. I do not think this team is going to magically turn into a Super Bowl team. Caleb Williams would have to just start to play out of his absolute mind to turn this team into a Super Bowl team, right? Where they can now win multiple playoff games. That would be one of the most shocking things I would have ever witnessed in my entire life. So I'm sorry. I still don't think that they're a Super Bowl team. Can they find themselves in the playoffs? Definitely possible. Definitely hard, but definitely possible, especially considering how all the teams are going on with the Eagles and the Cowboys, the Buccaneers. Like, there's so many injuries all over the place, teams winning and losing. Like, it's definitely a messy. There's not a lot of teams that are running away from their division or just even what would eventually become the wild card spot. So the Bears can definitely find themselves in that mix, But how much of a threat are they? Again, only time will tell, and it will rely on Caleb to kind of be able to elevate this team. So really interesting stuff. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Caleb's performance? Is it something or nothing? And are the Chicago Bears, are they righting this ship? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.